Welcome to the new HOPWA Consolidated APR CAPER e-tutorial. Provider Performance Report, Housing Subsidy Assistance Activities. This video is for HOPWA project sponsors and grantees that carried out housing subsidy assistance activities during the reporting year. This video will briefly walk through completing each Housing Subsidy Assistance tab in the Provider Performance Report workbook. It will review data elements reported on for each activity, data checks, and changes from previous reporting forms. For information on how to complete other tabs within this workbook, or for information on how to complete the Grantee Performance Report workbook, please reference other e-tutorials in this series. Let's get started. Housing Activity tab Walkthrough. On the first Activity tab, Tenant-Based Rental Assistance, we will go over each question section slowly. We will point out what is new and what is the same compared to previous reporting forms. We will also look at data checks and which question sets will appear on other Housing Activity tabs as well. Tenant-Based Rental Assistance tab. If you provided TBRA, complete this tab in its entirety. Otherwise, you may skip this tab. Specific data for TBRA will now be reported on only once. This is true of all other activities as well and represents a change from previous HOPWA annual reports. In previous reporting forms, household totals were repeated in multiple sections of the document. On the TBRA tab, you will need to report on the following for TBRA households. 1. Number served and the associated HOPWA expenditures. 2. Sources of income received. 3. Medical insurance received. 4. Housing outcomes. 5. Income levels. 6. Longevity. 7. Health outcomes. The first 4 items represent common reporting elements that will be reported on in all Housing Subsidy Activity tabs. These questions should be familiar. However, on previous HOPWA reporting forms, medical insurance and sources of income questions were aggregated for households served with all housing subsidies. Now, these questions are asked at the activity level only. Note the auto-summing totals that will help you identify data checks in the sources of income and housing outcome sections. The bolded sources of income total should be equal to or greater than the TBRA housing total from row 10 on this tab. The bolded housing outcomes total should be equal to the TBRA housing total. Income level and longevity questions should be familiar. However, again, what's new here is that these questions are now asked at the activity level only. These same questions will also appear on the short-term rent, mortgage, and utility tab and both facility-based housing tabs. The bolded auto-generated totals in the income level and longevity sections should match the TBRA household total reported on top of the tab in row 10. For TBRA, as well as for permanent facility-based housing, you will also see questions on a brand new data element, health outcomes. For the first reporting year using the new HOPWA Consolidated APR CAPER, answer these health outcome questions to the best of your ability. The Office of HIV/AIDS Housing recognizes that all new data elements will take time to gather. As you complete the tab, please be sure to only enter numbers in number fields, easily identified by pre-populated zeros. Permanent Facility-Based Housing tab. If you carried out permanent facility-based housing to HOPWA-eligible households, complete all portions of this tab that are relevant for your facilities. Otherwise, skip. When you open the PFBH tab, you will notice many columns for facilities. Beginning with column B, complete one column for each HOPWA-funded facility. Note, scattered site units should be aggregated and reported as one facility. Note the separate question sets for leasing, operating, and other support. Please complete the sections that are relevant for your facility based on the facility-based budget line items for each program. Note the row for deduplication and be sure to use it to indicate if you served individuals or households with more than one type of assistance within one facility. For example, if 2 households received operating and leasing support, type 2 in the deduplication row. Answer the remaining sections of the tab with your deduplicated household total in mind. See the TBRA tab portion of this video for more notes on questions around income levels, income sources, medical insurance, longevity, housing outcomes, and health outcomes. Please be sure to only enter numbers in number fields, easily identified by pre-populated zeros. Short-term and transitional facility-based housing tab. If you carried out any ST-TFBH directly to HOPWA-eligible households, complete the portions of this tab that are relevant for your facilities. Otherwise, skip. When you open this tab, you will notice many columns for facilities or short-term housing. Beginning with column B, complete one column for each short-term or transitional housing situation your HOPWA program funded. Note, scattered site units should be aggregated and reported as one facility. This tab contains separate question sets for leasing, operating, hotel-motel, and other support. Please complete the sections that are relevant for your organization based on the facility-based housing assistance budget line items for each facility. Note the row for deduplication, and be sure to use it to indicate if you had households that received more than one type of assistance within one column. For example, if 2 households received hotel-motel and other support, deduplicate by indicating 2 in row 22. Answer the remaining sections of the tab with your deduplicated household total in mind. See the TBRA tab portion of this video for more notes on questions around income levels, income sources, medical insurance, longevity, and housing outcomes. While completing this tab, please be sure to only enter numbers in number fields, easily identified by pre-populated zeros. Short-term rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. If you carried out any STRMU to HOPWA-eligible households, complete this tab. Otherwise, skip. Complete column B of this tab with STRMU household and expenditure totals broken down by type of STRMU assistance provided. Please note that every household served with any HOPWA funds spent on STRMU assistance will fit within only one of these categories, so there should not be any duplication of households across these lines. Also report household income percentage information, sources of income, medical insurance, housing outcomes, longevity outcomes, and health outcomes. See the TBRA tab portion of this video for more notes on income levels, income sources, medical insurance, longevity, and housing outcome questions. Please be sure to only enter numbers and number fields, easily identified by pre-populated zeros. Permanent Housing Placement Assistance tab. If you carried out any PHP to HOPWA-eligible households, complete this tab. Otherwise, skip. Complete column B of this tab with PHP household and expenditure totals, household sources of income, medical insurance, and housing outcomes. See the TBRA tab portion of this video for more notes on questions around income levels, income sources, medical insurance, longevity, and housing outcomes. Please be sure to only enter numbers in number fields easily identified by pre-populated zeros. Other competitive activity. If you are a competitive grantee or project sponsor who has been specially approved by HUD to provide a different, non-standard HOPWA activity, please complete this tab. Otherwise, skip. On this tab, simply complete column B with the total number of households served, the total amount of HOPWA funds expended, and a description of the other HOPWA budget line item that has been approved in your grant agreement. Note, this tab will not be applicable for any HOPWA formula providers and for most providers with competitive HOPWA grants. Please be sure to only enter numbers in number fields, easily identified by pre-populated zeros. For additional details and instructions on how to complete the Provider Performance Report, reference the HOPWA Consolidated APR CAPER User Manual. If viewers have any questions on the new Consolidated APR CAPER or submission process, they should submit requests to their grantee or the HOPWA Ask a Question AAQ desk. Thank you for watching.